Welcome to Coach's Corner podcast by Well at Humana, where we talk all things health and fitness with an authentic, informative, and real-world lens. This year, we're personalizing the podcast a bit more with the people behind it. Each month, we'll introduce you to a new Exos Fitness Coach on our team, where we'll dive into their personal stories through fitness, specialties, passions, and more.
Welcome, everyone, to Season 3, where we learn more about our Exos team. Up first, yours truly, your host, Hayley, Amy, and I are excited to kick off the Season 3 with our own well-being journey. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome.
Hello.
Great
So,
to be here.
as we all usually, we open the series with rapid-fire questions. So this season's going to be no different because it's everyone's favorite part of the episode. So, Amy, what do you got for us today as Hayley and I are in the hot seat?
All right. Yeah, I'm asking you both. So take turns here. But first thing that pops into your head. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Night.
Oh, that's interesting. Favorite type of workout?
Lifting.
Barbell.
Go-to healthy snack?
Trail mix.
Protein bar.
Oh, I said protein bar last time. Switching it up.
You got a new favorite.
I do.
Preferred way to relax and de-stress?
A beach.
Workout.
Beach. Right on. Workout. Favorite part of your nighttime routine?
I did say brushing my teeth last time. I'm going to go with flossing because that just gives me...
Dog, you're so weird.
I'm going to go with my face routine. It's something that brings me down and I'm ready to bed.
That's skincare.
Skincare.
Favorite outdoor activity?
Running.
Kayaking.
Okay. One wellness habit you swear by?
Lifting.
Making your own meals.
Okay. Favorite workout attire?
Leggings and a sleeveless crop top.
I'm going shoes.
Just shoes.
Well, I mean, I'm going to wear other things.
Haley's not working on her garage. Just shoes.
Just shoes.
Your kick game.
Favorite animal?
Dog.
Cat.
Something you're looking forward to this year?
My wedding.
Oh, yay.
Traveling, but I don't know where yet, but it will happen.
That's exciting. That's all I have for you guys.
Amy,
Y'all did good.
you thought you were out of this,
Oh,
but
we're
I'm just going to, I don't even have a list. We're just going to go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to put one back on you though. Favorite workout attire.
Well, I like leggings and, yeah, I like a crop. I like a nice fitted crop.
Okay. Middle name.
Elizabeth.
Favorite color.
Pink.
Favorite state.
Colorado.
Favorite ice cream.
Cookies and cream. Yeah, double chocolate brownie.
Oh.
Depends on the mood.
Favorite high school memory.
Oh my
I have
god.
to have one. Graduating.
I just told someone I blacked high school out of my memory. I had to let some things go to get new stuff in.
Yeah,
so.
you gotta clean out those files.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great time for me. Favorite fashion trend.
Oh gosh. Well, the only thing I can think of right now is the mob wife style that's coming back in, but I don't love
Are
that
you here for
personally.
it? Oh, I'm totally here for it.
I don't have any first
I don't either,
hopes or
but
anything.
I'm here to support it.
I'm all about being extra, so I might have to get one.
And favorite color.
Well, I said that already, pink, but I'll say it again, all the pinks.
Okay. I forgot that I just asked that because it was so rapid. But okay.
Rapid questioning.
Yes, it is. We'll bring that back. So today we're talking about really our own personal fitness journeys and really what they look like, because I think it's interesting to hear that everybody's fitness journey is different. Everybody's approach to well-being is different. Even if you're in the industry, you've all had different backgrounds. So Amy, we'll start with you. Can you describe your quote unquote fitness journey, or how you got into health and fitness as a person, not as a coach, but just as a normal human being?
Yeah, and I'll do cliff notes because I could talk about this for hours. But basically, I always started I was pretty active as a kid. I always had to do a sport. I was always forced to try a new sport, and I didn't love the actual playing of the sport. I didn't love the competition. I'm not a competitive person, but I did realize very early that I love just moving my body and exercising and being around friends and people and that team aspect. So that's something I always enjoyed, and I continued to do that. In high school, I ran cross country. I was on the crew team. when I was doing crew, I realized that like my only favorite part of the practice is when we got to like run or do conditioning. And so then the following years I did cross country because that's just running and conditioning. And I still got that team aspect and all of that. And then also in high school, I joined a junior development cycling team. Got really into cycling. My brothers got me exposed to that. They were big into bike racing, and one brother specifically loves mountain biking. So I did try that. I was not very good at mountain biking, but it's fun. I like being in the woods. But so I was pretty active all through high school. I ended up going to college on a cycling scholarship. So for 2 years, I raced at the D1 level because there's not many women in cycling. So they needed women on the team. So even though I hadn't been cycling as long as a lot of other people on the team, I learned a lot through that process. That was kind of when I really got exposed to the weight room. That was not something I had ever done on my own. My high school, it was an all-women's high school, and women in weightlifting, I'm not even that old, but it still wasn't like a huge thing, like that women need to lift and get stronger and stuff like that. So we didn't have, a huge exposure to that. So in college, when I started weightlifting, I realized I really loved that too. I ended up switching my major from psychology to exercise science. And then from there, just worked on getting my personal trainer certification, health coach certification. And then now I've been in the industry for 10 years as a coach, but then also I just like to exercise with my friends.
An advocate.
And like that's continued into my life now. Like, I don't race bikes anymore. I'm not doing any collegiate sports, obviously. I'm well out of college, but I am still very active. I still, hit the gym a few times a week. I do group classes. I have a lot of very active friends, so we'll meet up and go for walks or, do a workout together. And it's just kind of been this thread throughout my whole life. But lifting specifically came in college, and like the real passion for it and realizing like, oh, you can train and you can certain ways to get stronger. And then that also kind of led into coaching.
So you really like the camaraderie.
I do. I like to move my body and I like to be around cool people. I don't like competition. I don't like the games or the races or whatever. Like I just want to vibe with my homies,
So it's more about like being healthy, being active, but that's a part of your social life too.
Yeah.
Like that's just as important as you working out towards a specific quote unquote goal.
Yeah. I think it's just as normal for me to call up a friend and say you want to go for a walk than it is to say you want to get drinks. Like,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You got some good friends.
Do. Yeah.
You
Sure
do.
do.
Like find those people. But mine's similar and different in that, I grew up playing sports. I come from a sports family that was just, we often joke that like all of our skills were athletically based. Like I'm not artistic in the least bit. I can't draw. I tried to play the guitar once. I was awful. So it was just very natural athletically. Similar in that I grew up playing sports, different in that I'm extremely competitive. So was a 4-sport athlete in high school, but literally started training when I was around 16. I think it was something to do, but I was also intrigued to learn along the way. Like I would say later on in life, yes, I did get my master's degree in exercise science and physiology, but a lot of my training was really self-taught. So was a college athlete, continued training throughout, and I really found that I began to love the training aspect just as much as the sport. You could often find me after games still working out, and it was something that I really, really had a passion for. And I think it was also the mental component of how mentally tough you have to be to train consistently. Like, I think that was a big part of what I fell in love with too. And I come out of college, undergrad, I don't have anything to compete against. And that's like your entire life up to that point. So I had to find something, a common goal that I was working towards. So for me, I went into bodybuilding for a couple years just because I was exposed to that at the current time at the gym that I was at. So did that for about 3 years, and then found out I really didn't like that industry whatsoever. I wanted to be able to perform instead of just the way that I looked. So I got into CrossFit for 9 years, competed competitively just at the local level. Like I wasn't that good. But it allowed me to continue on in a competitive way that I really needed during that time in my life. Like I think that's a big transition from athletes that have been athletes their entire life. When you're an athlete, you work towards one common goal with teammates, and then when you're done, especially for women, because there is professional leagues, but majority do not go on to that, and they go out into the real world, and there's really nothing that compares to that. So for me, I think that was where my passion really started. And then we weren't exposed to social media like that at that time. So we didn't have a lot of information around nutrition, around fitness. Like if you wanted to learn, you really did have to do the work yourself. I remember like going through Muscle and Fitness Hers. I went through like bodybuilding.com, and you really weeded through what fact was versus myth, and you found that because facts would be what people were saying over and over, and it's trusted sources in the field, which now it's a totally different place for people wanting to learn more about health and fitness, which is a good and bad thing. But yeah, like it was really it's a passion of mine. It always has been. It's been the biggest constant in my life, and for that I'm really thankful. Like I can always go back to training as like something that's always there. And I think that's been something that's really been important in my life. And now where I'm at is it's more of a balancing act. You know, I used to be, if I didn't make 5 or 6 days a week, it was a failure. That is just not my mindset now. I've been training for, 20 years. And now it's definitely more like if I hit 4, like I strive for 5. If I hit 4, I'm okay. And I really like where I'm at right now with that, where fitness used to be top 3 priority, maybe number 1 priority at a certain time in my life. And now it's just not, but my health still is, if that makes any sense. Like my health is still a top 3 priority, but I know it's now more of like a holistic approach and not just dedicated to training only. What about you, Hayley?
I would say that mine is definitely training first, but listening to both of our stories and then like thinking about my own, like all of our stories start with us taking a step and like on our own to discover fitness, right? Whereas like a lot of people today, maybe they feel like they're forced into fitness because they have to lose X number of pounds. Like that's just one like constant I'm seeing with our stories is like there wasn't a particular reason. We just found it interesting. I was an athlete growing up. I played basketball and softball. My brothers are very athletic. Similar to you, Dana, we just were a sports family. I'm very competitive, but I wasn't the greatest basketball player. So I always said that I brought up the team's GPA. I was really smart. And my brothers and I are all very different. Cooper, my middle brother, is super athletic. I was the smart one, and then my second brother is just the funny one. So we all had like these different paths, and there just came a point where I had to have a serious conversation with myself and ask, like, is athletics more important than like where I'm going in my professional career? And so I chose to go to college without an athletics like scholarship tied to it, and honestly, that's probably what was the breakthrough to find fitness, because at that point, like the gym became my home away from home. I got a job there. I was working out there. I made friendships and relationships there. And I remember my dad, like one of the last things he said to me in college was like, you can make this your home. And that's exactly what I did. And just being a competitive person, I tried everything, bodybuilding, powerlifting, and eventually found CrossFit, which just really spoke to me. I think it blends everything that I really love. I'm still one of those people that doesn't feel like they worked out unless they sweat. So CrossFit really feeds that for me. I'm definitely always sweaty when I leave the gym. But more than that, it's a community. And I've learned that about myself over the years is I always thought I was a city girl and I was going to move to Chicago and have this big corporate job. But I love a small town where you can ask somebody where they went to high school, you know? And I think like that's why I love Louisville. That's why I love CrossFit is because you have this natural common thread. You're all like-minded. That's why I love working in the fitness industry. We're all instantly bonded in a way. So, fitness has been a constant like you, Dana, throughout my life. And I see it being the one area where my mind is at peace. Like that is my flow state, if you will. Like I am in the moment, fully not thinking about anything else. And so for me, I'm just protecting that time for as long as I can for it to be that peaceful state. And when it becomes clouded with other things, then I'll know it's time to move on to like a different type of wellness or fitness. But right now, like it's my peace and I'm owning that.
Yeah, like,
Love that.
you know, where you have like Facebook memories and stuff like that pop up. Oh my God, like so many of mine recently have been like 11 years ago where it's just like I was in a job that I didn't love. It was like my first 5 years out of undergrad. So you're still searching for what you want to do. And it wasn't a field I really loved, hence why I went back and got my master's degree in the fitness industry. But like so many statuses said, like, can't wait to 5 o'clock to lift. Like, and I've been finding myself like thinking back about that. And it was so much passion. It was exactly where you are currently, I think, Hayley, and that it was the one place that I could dial in everything. And there's something unique about that. But I think what is even more interesting is like all of our stories have like camaraderie in it. And I think people that haven't been into fitness at all, like I would encourage you to just try it, because something beautiful that happens is like you do meet like-minded people that are striving for like a similar goal, and that instantly unites people in a way. And it's something that I found along the way throughout the years. I've moved 3 times in 10 years. So like I've always found peace in like meeting new people that are into fitness. And those people have become like my lifelong friends, which has been pretty phenomenal. What would you all say is some of the obstacles that you've faced over the years? It sounds like all of us have been in the industry for a long time, dating back to elementary school, high school, for some of us working towards fitness. What would you say some of the challenges you faced in your own well-being?
I would say comparison of others. And fitness is such a personal industry. I definitely take what you said to heart, Dana, of like the community aspect. You instantly get this group of people that believe in you, which is like super amazing, but you also take everything to heart, and so it can be easy to maybe look at what someone else has achieved in X number of weeks versus where you're at in your journey. So I've definitely struggled with that, and I think fitness does sometimes have this tendency to be all aesthetics, and it's not at all. And actually the part of fitness that I love is the performance aspect and showing yourself that you can like achieve the unthinkable. So it's also just making sure that I stay like grounded in that aspect rather than just what I may see on a screen. And social media has been a part of my entire probably journey in fitness. I do remember like being on bodybuilding.com and reading some of the articles like you said, but for the most part, I mean, I've known fitness influencers since I started in the gym.
Yeah, that's really normal for you.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it was. And I think that's something that you pointed out of like so much of health and wellness is centered around aesthetics. And like, I think we would be lying if we said like, we don't want to look our best, right? But it's so easy to compare what you look like to somebody that you have no idea their background. You have no idea what's happening outside of the screen. You have no idea how long they've trained. They may be in year 20 and you're in year 1. Like that can't be compared. But also the thing I love about CrossFit is that, sure, you have your shredded people they perform amazing, but their body also looks amazing. But you have people that are capable of just unbelievable strength that like you would never know that person has that ability. And I think that's something that I enjoy.
It is interesting, like you said, it's so personal because, like, it is like you could eat exactly the same as somebody, and you could do the exact same workouts as somebody, and not look anything like them. Like, so that is, but it is. We still like think like, oh, like you can't help but compare yourself, but like you are nothing like someone else. You know, that experience is so different. So I think also like as a coach too, it's like you feel this extra pressure to look a certain way. I think my obstacle, so in high school, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So I was kind of like on and off different treatments, you know, like kind of up and down on what kind of physical activity I could do. You know, sometimes some month, like I would be really sick for months and months and wouldn't be able to do things. And then, you know, finally I got on a good treatment plan and was good all through college. But that was always frustrating for like, cause I love to work out, you know, I want to go hard and I want to do these things, but like, my body was just so tired, or I'd have to be constantly going to the bathroom. Like, it's just so frustrating. And I am like looking back, I'm very proud of myself for staying consistent, even though it was so like, it'd be so easy to just give up and just lay around and be like, oh, well, I'm sick. Why did I just give up? This is my body. And then 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago now, I ended up having a surgery to remove part of my colon. I had an ostomy bag for 3 months. The recovery for that was rough. And then I had another surgery to reverse that with another rough recovery. So that was almost a full year of not really being able to do anything, which, as someone that loves fitness, that was very frustrating. And then I think the biggest challenge too was getting back in the gym after all of that happened, and like being scared, like, oh, am I going to injure myself? You know, I wasn't sure, you know, I lost all my muscle. So it was like, oh, I can't do what I did. And that whole process was kind of frustrating, but I am very proud of myself thinking back for just sticking through it and like not being afraid to pick up the 2 or 5 pound weights in the group classes. Like, even though I am a coach and people probably have these expectations of me, like, I know I'm not ready for that yet. And I didn't. I took it slow and I worked back up to it, and I'm way stronger now. And knowing that I can do that, you know, I will keep that mindset, you know, later in life. If I have kids, you know, knowing that I can come back after pregnancy, or I don't know, just all those kind of things, just making my mindset stronger every time there's been a setback.
And I think like your story could speak to people, I think. Like, truly, like I work with Amy every day, so I was alongside of that 2 years ago, like seeing her go through that. And I think you're right. I think it would be perfectly acceptable for you to have been like, well,
it's so easy to give up.
I can't do this. And like, you just didn't do that. And like, she's in the gym before work all the time. Like, I think that's something really you should be proud of, because like, I think it teaches you exactly what you said. Like, it's a mindset shift of like, no matter the setback, how long the setback, I can make a return.
And just do what you can.
Yeah.
Even if it's go for a walk.
Yeah.
A little walk, all hunched over. Like, it doesn't matter.
Do what you can.
When you can. Like, I think time is another challenge, people would say. But like, even if you have 20 minutes, you can do something in those 20 minutes.
Oh, for sure. And I will say too, like, something that I didn't even think about of just like being generally healthy, like the recovery from that surgery was the doctors at the checkups after that were just like blown away how quickly everything healed and like what I was able to do. And like that to me, because like I had been previously very motivated by, you know, looking a certain way or whatever, and like seeing like, oh my gosh, like this really affects your overall health in so many ways. Like surgery recoveries, fall, you know, just stuff like as you get older, it's so important to just take care of your body. And like that was an extra layer of motivation for me too, that I can carry in moving forward.
I love that. I think for me, it's monotony. Like, that's one of the personal challenges I've faced. I mentioned, like, I've been training consistently 5 days a week for 20 years now. Like, that's a long time. And even if you haven't been that long, like that's an extreme case, right? I'm also in the industry. It's also my passion. Like, I'm not naive enough to think like some people hate working out.
Yeah.
Like maybe we should feel blessed that we enjoy it because it does make that a little bit easier. Some people hate it. And like one of the things I would say is, it's not going to be exciting and fun all the time. When someone first starts to get in the gym or they start a new way of eating or something like that, it's exciting, right? Because it's something new. Mm-hmm. When you buy a new car, it's exciting. But I'm 5 years in with my car now and it's fine. I still love it. It's the same thing with fitness as anything else. Like when you start something new, it's exciting. You want to see changes. But what about a year in and you're still doing this? If you made it a year in, kudos. It's not as fun anymore. And that's where you can't rely just on motivation. Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the way, the mind has to shift to discipline over motivation. Because motivation, I will tell you the honest truth, motivation for me to be in the gym these days, there's not many days that I'm motivated at all anymore. It's been 20 years. But now I'm so disciplined. It's just what I do. It's just a part of my day. That's what I do.
It's like brushing your teeth.
Yeah, I'm going to go. It's a non-negotiable. So I think understanding there will be times of monotony. But if you do get in that monotony, maybe try something different. Maybe try a group class if you haven't. Maybe it's time for me. I've always wanted to try cycling, road cycling. Maybe it's time, I pull the trigger, get a bike, and join a group. Mm-hmm. Because maybe those people, maybe I can meet new friends out of it. Maybe, I'll feel more comfortable riding because I don't know much about it. So it's I haven't made the leap yet, but it's in my mind. So maybe with the monotony, think about trying something new, but know that motivation is not going to carry you through in the long run. It's going to come down to discipline and a choice.
We haven't talked about this as much, but I know with our conversations at work, we've talked fitness is so behavioral. Mm-hmm. Once you get to a certain point, like you said, Dana, it turns into a routine. And at that point, it's all in your mind. It's not a physical thing anymore. Also, I heard this question I wanted to ask you all. If fitness or physical activity didn't provide results in your body the way you looked aesthetically, would you all still do it?
Would it do results in your health, in your internal organs and heart and all that, or it literally has no benefits?
That's a good take. I would say no benefits at all.
No benefits at all?
No.
Well, I don't know that that's fair to say.
Nothing has no benefits. Even watching a movie, that has it's an activity.
Sure, you get a broad perspective.
Yeah, you think and
I think if nothing changed aesthetically, it did nothing for your body to look a certain way, I'm going to say yes, because I do feel like after you are training, it is a natural quote unquote high, right? You get endorphins through it. You get release of dopamine and serotonin. So you, as Legally Blonde would say, you are happier when you are training. So I really do think that is a benefit that people don't recognize enough, is that you are happier due to you pushing yourself to new limits that you didn't know that you were capable of, as well as scientifically it is a release of dopamine. So and you have to think about our world. Our world is constantly in search of that dopamine hit, whether it's through social media, whether it's through substances. So we thoroughly enjoy that. Why not get that through something that is quote unquote healthy for you? So for me, it would be yes if it had no aesthetic impact.
Yeah.
Same. I don't even do it first.
I don't even feel like it affects my sex anymore. I'm not great about eating, and so I'm literally I work out to stay at a steady state.
Yeah, there you go. Maintenance.
So what are some of your all's favorite healthy habits that you've incorporated in your own life?
Making my own meals has been something I've done since, I don't know, when I was in school. I brought my lunch every day. So maybe that helped me transition into my adult life. But that it puts me in control of what I'm eating. I don't have to guess what was this cooked in, or maybe they used butter instead of this. So And it also just like keeps my daily routine a little bit more regimented, like so I don't have to guess like my stomach hurts today, maybe I ate something different. If you eat the same thing, like you don't have to guess. And then something new I'm trying to incorporate is the sauna once a week, because I know that heat can help recovery a little bit more. And with my training style, I am like, my intensity is pretty high. So I figure if I can work in some intentional recovery, that might help flush the muscles a little bit more. So
Nice.
Very nice.
I've been focusing more on protein lately. That's my new favorite healthy habit. I like whenever I track my food just like to see where I'm at, I am just not getting enough protein. Like I have to be very conscious about my protein intake.
same.
So that's been one. And then also hydration. I'm huge on water, and I drink an electrolyte thing every day too. And that's partly because I'm missing some colon and I don't fully absorb everything. So I don't know if anyone needs the extreme amount of electrolytes that I drink daily. But yeah, I'm big on hydration because I can tell a huge difference, especially like if I drink alcohol, like, or if I'm gonna eat a bit, I don't know. I just feel all over better when my body is hydrated, and I can tell a difference. So that's probably one of my healthy habits.
I would say mine is more food related. I think bodybuilding helped me a lot learn about nutrition. And when I say food related, what I mean by that is like learning about how to control food. And Hayley mentioned it, like fitness is really about behavior. Nutrition is probably biggest thing about it. It is a behavioral method. And for me, it's for an example, like the other day I was going to lunch with a friend. It was like a weekend and I was starving because I didn't eat breakfast, and I usually do. I was starving. And she had these little candy bags in her car because it was left over from Christmas. So I literally felt a little dizzy because I hadn't eaten. And I literally ate like 2 mini-sized Snickers out of the bag before we went to a lunch, right? And I wasn't going to eat healthy in the lunch either. That could freak some people out if they are like starting on their health journey and they're trying to be so strict with themselves. But like I've learned how to control my emotions with food. Is like I had 2 baby Snickers. Like who cares? Tomorrow I'm going to eat. I know what's coming next. And I think is the biggest difference is like, I'm okay with doing that. That's not going to derail me because I know majority of my life is spent eating nourishing food. And I think that took a really, really, really long time to get there. I mean, 10 years ago, I would have not eaten that Snickers. I would have been dizzy. And like, that just shows you how much you can evolve when it comes to learning and growing in your behavior with fitness or with food, where that's okay. Like, because I know my next meal is going to be a healthy one.
Let's talk about mindset. You were talking about behavior a little bit more, Dana, but as Exos employees, we try to follow the 4 pillars that they preach, and that's mindset, movement, nutrition, and recovery. And I think like there's lots of healthy habits we could talk about, but what mindset habits are you all putting into your own life to keep that, to feel in control of your life?
I think the biggest one for me, and this took years, and this was a big just mindset shift, but I just tried to live a low stress life across the board. And what that meant for me was just being okay with like letting yourself recover, letting yourself just like chill on the couch and not feel bad. Like sit for a whole Sunday and not feel guilty that you're not go.
I'm working on that still.
That's being like content in my job. Like I'm not lazy, but I'm not like a grinder hustler person. Like I've just like let go and like allowed myself to feel content and realize that content is not bad. Like for so long I was told that like that's bad, that's giving up, that's, you know, you gotta hustle, you gotta grind, and I just like let it go. Like
it's not complacency.
Yeah.
It's
and then
contentment.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah. And like, you know, maybe life doesn't have to have all this big grand stuff. Like life can just be surrounding yourself with awesome people that you enjoy spending time with and going for walks and watching sunsets and just filling your time in your life with things that you enjoy along the way. It doesn't always have to be this next milestone, this next step. What can I get more? What can I... And that whole mindset shift has just like just fully
That's
calmed me
awesome.
down. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just so chill now. Like, big things, like, I don't know, stuff just doesn't stress me out. Like, everything's just not such a big deal. But that, again, like, I say that, and that took me like a few years and therapy and switching relationships. I mean, that was a lot.
It took a lot of work on your part. Like, it didn't just happen. And I think, like, that's what I would talk about is, like, what I incorporate is I'm a little bit opposite than Amy. And, like, I'm what people would call, like, a high performer. And I don't mean that in, like, a achievement thing. I mean that in I don't rest well. Like, I'm always looking to perform at peak performance. Like, some people say type A, but I wouldn't classify me as a type A person. But because I can chill, and I'm like pretty calm with things, but I am constantly looking to achieve higher than I did before on my own personal goals. So and a lot of times what that comes with is like, I was in bodybuilding, so it's like very strict movements. I've strength trained forever, so it's very slow, controlled movement. So something that I've incorporated, and this was working with a yoga professional that we were trading services. Like, I was training her and she was working with me one-on-one with yoga practices. But I'm actually very mobile, but I don't move fluidly. Like, my movement is very stiff.
That's what tequila's for.
And what she like brought to my attention is like, just movement alone can actually like free up the mind. So it's something I incorporated for years and I stopped, and I have recently been injured, and my massage therapist is talking about like how much I need to let go. And so I've started doing it again, and it's weird. It's kind of like this interpretive dance thing.
Wow. Can we see a little bit?
No. So I do it in my living room before I go to bed. I try to do it like three times a week, but it's like, so I'll play like this indie type of slow song, and all you do is you can be from your knees, you can be seated, you can be standing. It's literally like a breath out is or a breath in is one movement, and a breath out is another movement. And you can move however you want. So like, you really have to get in tune with like just letting yourself move. And I have found, I know it's weird, but I have found like I sleep better when I do that. I start to move fluidly. My body feels better. And like, it's a sense of like being able to let go. So I know it's odd, but it's allowed me to challenge myself to do something like I'm not really comfortable with. And I'm not really like good at it either. Like, I close the windows and everything because I can't allow no one to see that. But it's doing something that you're uncomfortable with for maybe a benefit later. And something that I always come back to from a mental state, because I am very self-reflective, but this helps me be that way, is I'm constantly listening to like motivational videos, and they don't have to do with maybe anything I'm going through. But if you hear that over and over and over again, like, you start to become mentally tough. And I played softball with a girl in college, and this is the last thing I'll say on like why mental toughness matters. When she was growing up, she has 3 siblings, and her dad was like very involved in their life, and he's very much about like mental toughness, mental stability, mental health. And every day since they were like 3 years old, when they wake up, when they look in the mirror, the first thing they say 3 times is, I'm a winner, I'm a winner, I'm a winner. And she has done that every day.
Wow.
Since she was 3 years old. And I swear to you all, she just performs. And she performs in a way that's elegant, and she's confident. And I don't know, I have to believe that has some type of impact when you hear that to yourself over and over and over for 30 years.
Yeah.
You start to believe it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Confidence is like the superpower that we should all have. I would say I also struggle with stillness. I don't like to just sit on the couch. I always have to be doing something. So I've always craved the ability to meditate, but my mind is always racing. So that's really hard for me. I did recently discover that the steam room was a place where I felt like I could meditate because I really like felt that melt away feeling of like I'm not thinking about anything. But journaling has always slowed my mind down, and that's been proven. Like your thoughts are slower because you're writing it on paper, and so that tends to help me reflect a little bit on my day. And so that's something I just try to do once a month to, number one, like remember stuff. Because like I said, I have to forget something to bring something else in. But also just journaling like slows me down and allows me to reflect.
That's awesome.
I like that.
So to close us out, like what are some of your all's passions outside of health and wellness? Because this episode is about learning more about your host. So what are your guys' go-tos outside of health and fitness?
Well, I love my dog.
Amy's dog has its own Instagram
I do,
account.
and I love running my dog's Instagram. I love taking pictures. I love just doing things with my friends, and I love taking pictures and little videos. Like
Social butterfly.
Yes, but also like I like capturing it. Like I always get made fun of, like, oh, I'm gonna take another picture. You digging your dumb little videos, but like everyone likes to look back on the videos, and like there's so many like memories that I would have forgotten.
Yeah.
Like I love at the end of the year, I just go back through all my little video clips and I like put them all together in a little reel, and it's like I got to like relive my whole year in like 1 minute and like all the best parts and like all the people that I met and surrounded me.
I love that.
So I really do. I like social media, but I feel like I use it differently than maybe some people. I pretty much just like create my own page and like that's stuff that I did.
I've read that like what we post is mostly for us because it's our memories so that we can go back and look at what we've captured.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I totally do that too. I'll go down my own feed as like a rabbit hole and like, remember all the things that I did. I would say I love to travel. Like all of my best memories are like exploring a new place or a new culture. It's another avenue for me to kind of let go because I will make an itinerary. It's natural for me. But I'm totally fine with just like wandering down streets and trying hole in the wall places of food. And I've just really enjoyed like seeing different parts of the world.
Very cool. I would say mine is like just being outdoors. Like I find like solitude and peace. Most of you guys know like I'm a boater, but it's more than just boating. Like it used to be like my happy place. I don't know that it is anymore. It's a bit crowded now, but it's a place of like being outside, being on a body of water, the sun, like, and a lot of my childhood memories are growing up there with my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my cousins. So like, but anything that involves any type of adventure. So, whether that's jumping out of a plane, whether that's hiking, kayaking, like anything that is adventurous and outdoors, like I really enjoy. I really want to ride in a NASCAR car, like on the track, going like extremely fast. I really want to do that. So
No way.
that would be, I would say I'm an adrenaline junkie. So anything that like spikes the adrenaline.
Let's end on just like a piece of advice for someone that wants to start in fitness
Or a quote. I love inspirational quotes.
Okay, or a quote. Amy can provide a quote for those.
No, I do like a quote that I love is you can still love yourself and be a work in progress.
Aw,
I think so many people, like especially with like body positive and all this stuff, like you either have to like love yourself where you are or you have goals, but like you don't. You can literally love your body the way it's at, love yourself where you're at, but still like have some goals, or like, it's okay to want to lose weight, but like you don't have to hate where you're at. I think that might be my favorite.
That's a good one.
Mine would be, I was going to say like just start, but it's more than that. It's like everybody is uncomfortable until they're comfortable. And it's like everyone that starts something new is uncomfortable, and you're not alone in that. I wish it was like we were in kindergarten and someone just could walk up to someone and say, hey, want to be my friend? Maybe try that. I was at the gym the other day, and I don't really talk to a lot of people when I'm at the gym because I'm there to get in and get out. But I really admired. I was in the locker room, and a girl.
Where's this going?
A girl just introduced herself, and she was like, "Hi, my name," and I see her every day. We're up there every day. She's like, "Hi, my name is such and such. I see you in here." Like, we just chatted for a bit, and I'm like, I should be more like that because that helps somebody be more comfortable. So my biggest advice is like, know that not everyone is comfortable all the time, and you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable before you can be comfortable. So just take that first step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I was going to say just start as well, but I think try something new. Like, I know that I'm someone that maybe shies away from change. I'm definitely uncomfortable with that. But change is good because it allows us to see new perspectives and try new things, the monotony of working out. So I would say, like, try something new, whether that's a class, whether that's inviting a friend to a class or to a gym with you. I think we could all just like take that homework and try something new.
You heard it here first, folks. So guys, thank you for sharing your journey with us. And for everyone listening, our coaches will be coming on each episode to tell you a bit more of their story. So we will see you next time with Coach Xavier.